So, Skaven's coming out this weekend.
Yep.
Everyone's frothing at the mouth, wondering, staying up late night.
Mm-hmm.
They can't go to sleep because they just keep thinking to themselves, how is AOS doing?
How is it doing?
How's it doing?
How's it doing? Yeah. Like an at-risk friend or something.
Yeah.
Just you just gotta, hey buddy.
Yeah.
How you doing?
Just checking in.
Just checking. Well, I mean, the people that the existing player base, I think, that already loved AOS is continuing to love it. I'm seeing a lot of good things, like in general. Like I've got the existing players, all pretty much love it. I would say it's had a smoother launch than 40k 10th for sure. There was no right away controversy about devastating wounds or something like that. There was a bit of getting used to some of the new mechanics, like the endless spells and stuff like that. But generally pretty smooth. And really the real question was, like, would Spearhead make a difference? And I think it has. I think it is. Slowly.
Yeah.
It is a bit like earlier editions of Kill Team, where it's got some early adopters and whatever, but here in the store, we've got a league that's wrapping up and it's gone well. The participation has been good.
Seeing some sustained buy-in, I think, is the way to describe it. Like, I think the real drop-off is, like, after 1 month of release.
Yes.
Like, is something even still talked about or in the culture, or are people coming in and specifically buying things for that? And the answer would be yes, they absolutely are.
I think it is, well, at least from a design point of view, and so far from a sales point of view, more impactful than 40k Combat Patrol originally was.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Combat Patrol is just, well, in its current state, going to have a difficult time designing fair games, and it has some more, you have to build the models really specifically, and sometimes you don't use all the models in the box. It's got some barriers that for brand new people is a bit tough, because they're just kind of like, they're so overwhelmed already. Whereas the Spearhead thing, I can confidently tell the person, I'm like, just assemble what's in the box and you're off you go. You don't, and the cards are so well designed, explaining the abilities, and you don't even you barely have to read the rule book to, like, even understand the game. It just lays it out so beautifully. Like, spell casting is just like a die roll ability. It doesn't require, there's no, like, unbinding and these, like, small examples of how that works. But and the card thing is the thing that you stole from or took from Shadespire or Underworlds. I still kind of wish that was the way regular AOS was played, to be honest. Like,
it's really good.
The drawing in and having to, like, think on the fly, and then having and then using cards for powerful command abilities instead if you don't think you can score. Like, I love it. Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, so I think I've played like half a dozen games, and they all go the max distance, and the point scoring is easy and fun, and most of the teams are pretty balanced.
You have little skews between.
Yeah, there's always a few for sure. But the other thing we're seeing people buy multiple Spearheads.
Yeah,
because they want to try these new teams. They want to, like, start these new armies, and knowing they have this.
That's where you see the buy-in, I think, right? Yeah. Is like people have now had the chance, because it's been a few months, to have, like, played it and really start, like, been like, no, this is actually really good. And then now the buy-in's happening where like this is, I've already heard from multiple customers. It's like, that's the way they're going to enjoy AOS now.
Yeah,
they're not even looking at the full 4th edition. A lot of these people, they're just like, no, I think Spearhead's enough for me.
Yeah,
and I'm actually really optimistic. I think that was probably, like, the key missing ingredient for a game like AOS, because all I heard last edition from people falling out of the game were, like, it was getting too complicated. And I think this is something that Games Workshop's coming to realize, is that they rely so much on the casual person purchasing their miniatures, because let's face it, like 90-95% of people that are doing this hobby are casual. That's not an insulting word. That just means you participate in it in, like, a more, like, laissez-faire manner, right? For money, right? You're not professional or whatever. You're not grinding weekend events out. You're not You're not painting for your Instagram commission painting service. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not an ulterior thing that you're trying to do, right? It's just you're just enjoying your hobby at your own pace, whatever that is, right? The true meaning of a hobby, right? And Games Workshop, I think, got away a little bit from that. I think in that edition,
Third Ed was a bit peak in terms of match play, or the experience was so match play centric with the way the rules were. It was like really technical, and I don't know.
I think I give them a lot of credit because I didn't think they could pull this off. Because to me, trying to do two things at once, I think seems insane, right? It's a lot. And how do you get buy-in from people when there's two paths basically, right? I think they actually kept it that way for 4th edition. Like 4th edition is still very much that game. I think it's still like a very like match play focused sort of experience. They let those people that loved 3rd edition keep loving it.
Yep.
So that they've lost nobody. I think they've done a really good job at that, and they're just going to build off of that. Because I think they understand that is to a large extent the culture today for younger people in their 20s. They expect more of a video game experience in a miniature game.
Yep.
The constant updating, the patches, the head-to-head competition. That's the expectation, and that's who they're selling that game to now. It's younger people, right? And then so they said, okay, we can keep it that way. We can polish it, but we need something else to go after people that like AOS, but don't like what that's becoming a little bit, right?
Yeah, they gave us it's like just a really good introductory, or it lets you enjoy the game and learn the game in such a great way. And again, we're super biased, but I do truly believe that it is one of their best like packages for getting people or teaching people what the game is like, because you can very easily. It's very brilliant because you can very easily springboard off of that into 1,000 points, etc.
Sure.
Again, I know 40k Combat Patrol is similar. I just feel like the moving pieces in 40k.
It's not as fun. Combat Patrol is just not as fun. That's its problem.
No, and the other thing is, like, frankly, it's competing with Kill Team, which is just amazing. Like I can't,
it's true.
Like the detail you get in Kill, it's like you expect Kill Team or Combat Patrol to be like Kill Team, but then it isn't. It's so watered down comparatively. Whereas the AOS thing is just, it really does a great job of teaching you, and I've witnessed this now a half a dozen times. I had a couple guys that basically didn't play any AOS. They're longtime Games Workshop guys, and they're mostly like, they're big 40k guys, but they're mostly like Horse Heresy, specialist game guys, etc. And to see them, they're like building armies, and they're gonna go to a tournament in like Michigan and stuff like that. I was like, yeah, and they're like, yeah, no, they've played some, and they're like, this is great. This is finally like I can wrap my head around this game now through this vehicle that Games Workshop has presented. So I would say for that part, that part of the product or game or launch is going as they would hope, I think. I guess we'll see if there are. I assume there will be, like if Adepticon will have Spearhead events.
I'd be shocked to see if they didn't.
Like Kill Team, there's probably already a tier list of
I'm sure, yeah.
Which ones need some balancing, etc. Probably. Or some slight changes. I think they're going to also release, I assume, another roster of more Kill Teams as time goes on. It really lets them, like Kill Team, it lets them design new collections of models that can have different things in them that are specific for that game, and then naturally, so any way excuse to package models in a new, Tetris them in a new way. I feel like they don't do that enough sometimes with the rotations of the contents of the Combat Patrols.
If they're really cheeky about it, and this is me putting my business hat on, if they're really cheeky about it, you would almost expect them to take units that aren't in the existing Spearheads and do different ones. And that way, if you bought both Spearheads for Sylvaneth, let's say, you'd have like, teams. I have like an army here almost.
And you have an army.
So it starts to build off that concept a little bit.
There's also like, it's so simple. Like your Christmas army boxes, like just throw in a Spearhead roster in there. Why not? Like everything they release that's a bundle is now a new team.
They don't need to put more value in those sets. Are you crazy?
I know, yeah. You're
Sell out every year.
You're true. You're not wrong. Yeah, yeah. Well, you know where it's extra good is which they haven't done in a while is the 2-player ones, like the one that we'll have on the wall for a while. Is we still have an arcane whatever Tzeentch and
Oh yeah. That experiment's dead though.
But like if there's 2 spearheads in there,
if they had done that, yeah. Right. If they bring that idea back, that would be interesting.
Like that could be something. So
don't give them ideas like that.
Anyway.
For free at least.
So I don't know. Anything else? What else do you think about how's AOS doing? We are selling more of it.
Yeah, I think it wasn't this like, and I think this is just what it's going to be from now on. Like these big like army like relaunches or whatever you want to call them, launch boxes, new editions. They don't have the same bang they used to have years ago.
It's because there's one every week.
and ultimately that's it. We've sped the timeline up, so I think the effect is going to be more, denigrated or whatever you want to say. But you get a much better measure like at the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 month mark.
Yeah.
You can say, oh, this actually has had a huge impact.
Yeah.
And so far, I'd say so far so good. Like the AOS stuff is moving better. Wouldn't take much because before third was finished, like it was pretty dead at the end there. But it's definitely moving healthier. And I'm seeing a lot of spearheads move, which just tells me that people are starting armies. They're starting spearhead, which is really healthy. So I have high hopes for this.
I mean, they have a couple of really good army. Obviously, Stormcast Skaven are great, and a lot of people are going to enjoy those. But they're going to follow it up with Lumineth and Slaves of Darkness, which are 2 like.
They already say Lumineth?
I believe so.
Oh wow. Stormcast first,
Slaves is Stormcast. No, it's Skaven is third, right? Skaven, Stormcast, Slaves, and then I think New Year's. I think Lumineth.
Well, of course, Lumineth. Why wouldn't they get the?
So they're kind of leading with power, if that makes sense. Like they're leading with popular armies that are beloved and who traditionally sell well in general. So.
Yeah. I think we'll also get it, like this Skaven release will be very telling, I think, about how much the Skaven being in the Skaventide box mattered.
Yep. Yeah.
Because Tyranids was bonkers for a while there.
Yeah.
You couldn't keep stuff in stock, right?
I can kind of see it. Like, obviously, that the new, great new Vermin Lord.
It looks incredible.
Alternate Vermin Lord, Vizic or whatever.
You can see some of those at the Golden Demon, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're going to see a lot of Stormcast and Skaven, to be honest. For sure, that's going to do well. I just want to comment a bit on the game because I think some of the viewers, there's always commentary about like people being like, oh, the AOS game and whatever. I will say they have quietly or not quietly the change they made with the scoring and the double turning thing. For those of you that have anywhere been on the fence or been traditionally 40k players or couldn't wrap your mind around the double turn, because historically for years it's been a constant like counter argument or this game's rubbish because of this, and the thing they've changed is pretty massive because basically what they did is if you double turn you're foregoing scoring extra point, like your secondary,
your tactics. Yeah.
And I've seen now firsthand how often people don't double turn because they are not willing to give up those points, or they don't see that they've created a finally like a proper dichotomy between actually going for it and double turning and is it worth it, or keeping the points. And I see way more players win roll-offs or decide to go first and not go second right away. I see games going into further turns, seeing how things play out more. So from a crunchy, high-level strategic point of view, the game's really good right now. Like if you like challenging games, it is. But it's not like it's like what they did with 40k 10th, that whole like simple but not hard or whatever they wanted to, whatever they described it as. Yeah. Or not complicated.
Complex but not complicated.
Complex, but that's really like shining right now. So if you're a 40k player or any player who was like maybe like AOS seems still this like I think you really need to give it another go right now because it's really it's going really well. Like
Or if you're looking for like a lighthearted experience, like that plays a lot like a really good board game, the Spearhead format is amazing.
Oh yeah.
So they're kind of hitting it home.
They are.
In both
Yeah.
senses.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, what do you guys think? Have do you feel like in your local area, have you seen an uptick in AOS players? Is your hobby shop moving kits? Because obviously that's the thing that matters ultimately the most, unfortunately.
Doesn't matter what we say.
It has to sell, right?
Has to sell. Yeah.
At the end of the day,
or it goes on that back wall over there. I mean,
whoa, so dark back there. So dark.
You don't get to see that because
it's we don't go back there. It's scary. So let us know what you think, what you've seen, what are your observations, and if you like these sorts of videos, give us a like and a subscribe. It helps us out a ton. If you really like them, you can check out our Patreon, where we take suggestions and video ideas. You might see one of those this week from our awesome Patreons who support our videos. So until next time, guys, take care.
Thanks. Bye.